which ions are responsible for the exchange of hardness causing cations?
Sodium.
Sodium.
Sodium ions. The sodium ions
Cation.
which are present in the zeolite bed, those ions are responsible for the exchange of hardness causing cations. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how we are regenerating the exhausted zeolite bed?
By washing it with brine solution.
By
Yes,
washing it with brine.
by washing with brine solution. What is brine solution?
10% of
10% of
NaCl.
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 What are the advantages of zeolite method?
So it's help in regeneration.
It is inexpensive.
Sir, zeolite bed
It
can be
repels
recreated
the
after
cations.
getting exhausted.
Less skill is required.
Okay, that means we could able to remove all the hardness causing cations, and it is compact equipment, simple equipment. Okay, any person can operate the equipment. These are, and then water is also pure from all the hardness causing cations. What are the drawbacks?
Anions cannot be removed.
Anions.
Anions cannot be
Anions are
removed.
not removed.
Okay. Then if heavy metals are
Metal
there,
ions
they cannot be separated. Then if any suspended particles are there, precipitates are there, okay, that turbid water is also not fit for, okay, removal of, okay, we cannot use the turbid water for the purification through zeolite bed. Okay, these are the some of the drawbacks. Now next topic is ion exchange method. In the ion exchange method, what are the ion exchange method? Is it okay? You could able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Another external method is ion exchange method or deionization or demineralization method. All the three names are same. Any name, okay, in your examination they may ask by using any name. Okay, write a short notes on ion exchange method, or otherwise write a short notes on deionization method, or otherwise, okay, brief the demineralization method. Like that they may ask. All the three names are same, so you're not get confused. Now here, what happened? Very straightforward I am saying. See here, there are two resin beds are there. What are the resin beds? Cation resin exchange resin bed and as well as anion exchange resin bed. These two types of resin beds are there. See, why okay, it is called as cation resin bed and as well as anion resin bed, because in the cation resin bed, the cations are responsible for the hardness causing cations. Cation means, okay, let us assume that, okay, what is the structure of cation resin bed? Yes, this is the cation resin bed structure. Okay, this is the chemical structure of cation resin bed. Okay, here what is happening? The vinyl styrene, okay, sulfonate cations, the chemical name, but that is not required. Simply you remember. See here, how we are representing the cation resin bed. The remaining all the polymers simply we are representing as a polymer bead or polymer. Then that is attached with either SO3 minus H plus sulfonic acid group, SO3 plus H plus, SO3 minus H plus, or otherwise COOH, COO minus H plus. That means polymer. That polymer is having the active functional group. That functional group is carboxylic acid. That means COO minus H plus. This H plus is responsible. SO3 minus H plus. This H plus is responsible. Okay, the phenolic OH as functional groups. Here O minus H plus. That means, okay, a polymer and as well as this anion, up to this you can represent as a R minus. Simply we are using some codes for better understanding. Does not mean that that is the structure of that, okay, resin bed. No. For easy understanding, we are representing the cation resin bed structure as R minus H plus. That means this is the cation resin bed. R means the polymer and as well as this anion. That means, okay, total polymer bead. See here polymer bead. Okay, this portion total we are representing with R. Then H plus we are representing with directly as H plus. So in this, the H plus ions are responsible for the exchange of hardness causing cations. As it is H plus, that is also cation. H plus is also a cation. So these cations are responsible for the exchange of hardness causing cations. What are the hardness causing cations? Either calcium bicarbonate or magnesium bicarbonate. In this, what are the cations? Calcium plus 2, magnesium plus 2. If calcium chloride, calcium sulfate, magnesium chloride, magnesium sulfate, all these hardness causing ions, what are the cations? Calcium and magnesium. Those ions are exchanged with H plus ions. That means here what is, okay, that much part you remember here. Then after that, next one is anion resin bed. What is the anion resin bed? Yes, that also same, the structure is like this. Okay, just I am increasing this. What is the structure? Like this, this is the structure. That means, okay, here what is happening? OH minus anion is there. Okay, this is the hydroxide form of anion exchanger. That means the vinyl styrene, okay, polymer structure is there. With that at the end, okay, here, okay, trimethyl hydroxide ion. Okay, that hydroxide ion is there. In previous case, H plus ions are there. That H plus ions are responsible for the hardness, removal of hardness causing cations. Whereas here, the OH minus ions are responsible for the exchange of hardness causing anions. Cation resin bed meant for exchange of cations. Anion resin bed meant for exchange of anions. That you keep in your mind. Similarly, the whole structure we are representing with simple notation. What is that? R OH minus. Okay, what is that structure? Here we are representing with R OH minus. Cation resin bed we are representing with, we are denoting one symbol, that is R H plus. Then here R OH minus. So this is the anion resin bed. Now see here what is happening. The structure you are required to remember, you are required to draw in your, okay, examination. Then okay, here okay. Now see, okay, for your understanding, just I am increasing the size. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Speak loudly, alright. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, everybody has to be active, man. Okay, now see here, this is the, okay, schematic representation of ion exchange resin bed. See here, two cylindrical chambers are there. Okay, two cylindrical chamber. Here one chamber or one container. Here it is kept cation exchange bed. Then after that, sand filter. Then adjacently to this cation resin bed, another container is there where we are keeping anion resin bed. Then anion resin bed, below of that sand filter is there. Now here simply what we are doing, simply the hard water or otherwise the crude water. The crude water is percolated over the cation resin bed. Here this is the cation resin bed and here this is the sand filter. Gravel sand was kept just below of the cation exchange bed. Now what happened? When the hard water is percolated on the surface of the cation resin bed, then the cations which are present in the cation resin bed, that means H plus ions, that H plus ions are readily exchanged with hardness causing cations. That means if calcium bicarbonate is there, let us assume that in the water sample, only calcium bicarbonate alone is causing the hardness. So when it is percolated, that hard water sample through cation resin bed, what happened? The calcium bicarbonate, calcium plus 2 ions are exchanged with H plus ions. So in the resultant water, that means when the water is passing through the cation resin bed, what happened? The calcium bicarbonate, the calcium ions, that is the cation, that is retained with cation resin bed, then H plus ions are there in the resultant water. H plus and bicarbonate ions. What is the source of these bicarbonate ions? These bicarbonate ions are from calcium bicarbonate. Now, okay, here, see, if any suspended particles are there, if any other microorganisms are there, or if any other floating materials are there, those floating materials may be removed with the sand filter. Just below this sand filter is there. So that sand filter is, what is the main use of sand filter? If any suspended particles other than, okay, any deadly microorganisms are there, any, okay, waste materials are there, they may be retained with the sand filter, then normal water may come down. Now, the same water, the resultant water, the water which is coming out from this cation exchange resin bed, the same water is sent into another tank. That is the anion resin bed storage tanker. See here, the purified water is pumped into cation resin bed. Then here, in the, sorry, anion resin bed. In the anion resin bed, what happened? Okay, same anion resin bed and gravel sand. Sand filter is there. So here, when the same water is passed through on this anion resin bed is responsible for the exchange of anions. So that means here in the resultant water, H plus ions are there, bicarbonate ions are there. So H plus ions are there, that H plus ions are, okay, simply, okay, go through this anion resin bed and that may be in the resultant water. But whereas this bicarbonate ions, the bicarbonate ions are exchanged with, okay, hydroxide ions, anions. That means the bicarbonate ions retained with the anion resin bed, the hydroxide ions may go down. That means in the resultant water, okay, from the cation exchange bed, H plus ions are coming down, and as well as from the anion resin bed, OH minus ions are coming, okay, coming down. So H plus OH minus, that is nothing but pure water. So at the end, you would be having the ultra pure water without any ions. Hence, it is called as, okay, demineralization process. Somebody are coming. Why they are joining late? This is the demineralization process, or otherwise, okay, what are the another name? Ion exchange method, deionization method. That means either hardness causing cations or otherwise hardness causing anions. None of the ions are present in the water sample. Hence, it is called as deionization method, demineralization method. So this is the, okay, process of ion exchange method. So simply, okay, in the ion exchange method, we are having two resin beds. The first one is cation exchange resin bed, and the second one is anion exchange resin bed. So what are the main uses of anion resin bed and cation resin bed? Okay, the cation resin bed, the hardness causing cations may be exchanged with H plus ions, whereas in the anion resin bed, the hydroxide ions are exchanged with hardness causing anions. Then in the resultant water, that is having H plus and OH minus ions. So that is nothing but pure water, ultra pure water. Even what are the chemical reactions? Yes, we can show the chemical reactions. We can represent. See here, okay, RH plus, this is the cation resin bed, RH plus plus calcium sulfate, or magnesium sulfate, or calcium chloride, or magnesium chloride, any type of hardness causing ion. Then what happens? See, R2Ca plus 2 plus H2SO4. H2SO4 means, see how they are existing in the water sample, H plus ions and sulfate ions. Then here, okay, here we should not write like this, H2SO4, simply you are required to write in the ion form, H plus ions and SO4 minus. Similarly, if calcium chloride is there, R2Ca2 plus, then H plus ions, chloride ions are there. Yes, obviously, the water may be slightly acidic in nature in the cation resin bed, but the same water, when it is passed through the anion resin bed, then what happens? See here, chloride ions are there. That chloride ions are exchanged with hardness causing anions. See, RCl minus, OH minus. ROH minus, if sulfate ions are there, sulfate ions are exchanged with hydroxide ions. So in the resultant water, OH is there, and here H plus ions are there. So H plus OH minus, that is H2O. So this is nothing but ion exchange method. Very simple. Now, here what happened? Yes, For the regeneration, what is happening? See, after some time, that anion resin bed may be exhausted with all types of anions. So simply that may be washed with dilute sodium hydroxide. So when it is washed with dilute sodium hydroxide, the hydroxide ions are replaced with original space. That means sulfate ions may be released in the water sample. Similarly, for the cation resin bed, simply we are washing with dilute HCl solution or H2SO4 solution, where the H plus ions are exchanged with hardness causing cations. That means here activated cation resin bed is there, here activated anion resin bed is there, and after activation we can reuse that cation resin bed and anion resin bed. This is the regeneration. Again somebody has joined. Samiksha Rajan, why they are late? So this is about the ion exchange method. Now next one, see advantages. Yes, highly acidic or alkaline water can be softened. Whereas in the zeolite method, we cannot use highly alkaline or highly acidic water because the zeolites may be readily dissolved in the water sample. But whereas in the ion exchange method, yes, if the water is acidic or alkaline nature, both types of water can be used for the purification. Water of very low hardness is produced. Yes, only 2 ppm water is produced. Anions as well as cations are removed, thereby problems like caustic embrittlement and corrosion. Caustic embrittlement, that is due to sodium hydroxide. Corrosion, that is due to dissolved oxygen or otherwise dissolved carbon dioxide. Then disadvantages. The process is costly. Yes, this is slightly costly affair. Turbid water decreases the efficiency of the process, and at the same time skilled person is required. Okay, skilled person means, yes, this process is some, okay, skilled person has to operate the equipment. Normal ordinary person cannot operate it because he has to monitor whether all the ions are exchanged with cation resin bed or not, then after that with anion resin bed or not, then after that purification. So all these things, this is about the ion exchange method. Very simple. अरे समझ में आ गया कि नहीं आ गया ion exchange method?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Straightforward. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, one second. This ion exchange method. Ion exchange means ions are exchanging here. In the ion exchange method is also called as demineralization method, or otherwise
Deionization.
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 Means none of the ions are present in the resultant water. So what is the procedure? Very simple. Okay, here in the procedure, there are 2 containers are there. One container is having the cation resin bed, another container is having the anion resin bed. The normal water is percolated through the cation resin bed. When the hard water is passed through the cation resin bed, all the hardness causing cations are retained with cation resin bed. The resultant H plus ions may be released in the water sample. Then similarly, in the same water is passed through the anion resin bed. So when it is passing through the anion resin bed, all types of anions which are present in the water sample, that anions may be retained with the anion resin bed, and in the resultant water H plus and OH minus ions are there. H plus ions are released from cation resin bed, OH minus ions are released from anion resin bed. So in the resultant water is ultra pure water. None of the ions are present, either cations or anions, other than H plus and OH minus ions. Hence it is called as demineralization or deionization method. How we have, see, after some time the cation resin bed is exhausted, anion resin bed is exhausted. After some time, stop the that pumping the hard water sample, then simply you stop it. Then after that you collect purified water. Then the cation resin bed is washed through the dilute sodium hydroxide solution. Then anion resin bed is cation resin bed is washed with the HCl solution, dilute HCl solution. Anion resin bed is washed with the dilute sodium hydroxide solution. So here while washing, the H plus ions may be retained with cation resin bed, then dilute sodium. When it is washed with dilute sodium hydroxide solution, that hydroxide ions are retained with anion resin bed. So when this process is repeated, then after some time, the cation resin bed get activated, anion resin bed get activated. So once it is get activated, then you stop the regeneration process, you stop it, then you remove the resultant liquid. Then after that, again you can start the procedure from initially. That means simply you can pass through the hard water sample. What are the advantages? Yes, the resultant water is none of the ions are present. Then its hardness is 2 ppm, 2 ppm only. Then either if the water is either acidic or basic or alkaline nature, all types of water can be used. What are the drawbacks? The drawback is again, if the water is turbid water, then this process cannot be used, because the suspended particles which are present in the water sample, they may settle down at cation resin bed and anion resin bed. So cations and anions cannot be exchanged properly. So this is the drawbacks of ion exchange method. Okay? Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. Next one is lime soda process. See, here it was given external methods, zeolite, lime soda, ion exchange method. Now we had completed zeolite method and as well as ion exchange method. Next one is lime soda process. That lime soda process I am explaining. See, in the lime soda process, what is happening? Lime stands for calcium hydroxide. Soda stands for sodium carbonate. Once again, lime soda process, what is happening? Lime stands for calcium hydroxide. Soda stands for sodium carbonate. So that means simply we are adding lime and soda to the water sample. Simply, you take the water sample in one container. Then in that container, you have to add calculated amount of lime and soda. Here one word I am saying, that word is very, very important. What is that word? Calculated amount of lime and soda. Always you are required to add calculated amount of lime and soda. How much amount of water is there? 1000 liters of water, 10,000 liters of water, 500 liters of water. Then accordingly you are required to add lime and soda. Now see here, in the lime and soda process, what happened? Simply we are adding these chemicals. Then what happened? What is the chemistry is going on due to addition of lime and soda? Yes. See here, calcium and magnesium ions are precipitated from hard water by adding lime and soda. Soda means sodium carbonate. Lime means calcium hydroxide. Please remember. So the insoluble solids are removed by sedimentation or commercially by filtration. That means take one container. Let us assume that that container is having 500 liters of water. Then accordingly, you are required to add calculated amount of lime and soda to that water sample. Simply you stir that water sample. Then all the hardness causing ions are converted into precipitates, either calcium carbonate or otherwise magnesium hydroxide or some other precipitates. Once the hardness causing ions are precipitated, simply with the help of sedimentation process, you can remove all the precipitates, or otherwise simply you do the filtration, then all the precipitates may be removed, so you would be getting the pure water, hardness that ions free water. See here what is happening, what type of chemical reactions are taking place. Let us assume that one or two chemical reactions. See, let us assume that calcium bicarbonate is there in the water sample. Let us assume calcium bicarbonate is there. For calcium bicarbonate, here we are adding lime. Lime stands for calcium hydroxide. Now what happened? What is the chemical reaction is taking place? Calcium carbonate plus H2O. Calcium carbonate is the precipitate that would be settled down at the bottom of the container. The resultant byproduct is H2O, so that is pure water. The next one is calcium sulfate. When it is treated with sodium carbonate, then that is going to produce the calcium carbonate. That calcium carbonate is the precipitate. Then next one is sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. The next one is, if magnesium chloride is there, calcium hydroxide, then magnesium hydroxide as precipitate, calcium chloride. This calcium chloride is there. This calcium chloride again treated with sodium carbonate. If calcium chloride is there, this calcium chloride, sodium carbonate, then calcium carbonate. So this is the reaction. These type of reactions are taking place. अरे 1 minute. हेलो, हाँ हेलो, हाँ जय हिंद सर, बोलिए सर। एनरोलमेंट का आज होगा सर, आज होगा। हाँ आज आपको मैं ओके नाम दे दूंगा आपको। एक्चुअली 120 एप्लीकेशंस आ गया, 120 स्टूडेंट्स हैव अप्लाइड। हमको 9 कैडेट्स चाहिए। आज शाम को मैं नाम दे दूंगा सर पक्का। अभी मैं भेज दूंगा सर, शाम तक मैं भेज दूंगा 9 कैडेट्स का नाम। Yes. So here in the lime soda process, don't get confused. Initially you may get confused, but simply you listen what is happening. Let us assume that aluminum sulfate is there. Yes. See here, during the chemical reaction, what happened? Along with lime and soda, we can add some coagulants. What are the coagulants? Sodium aluminate or otherwise aluminum sulfate. These two coagulants we are going to add. So what is the main role of these coagulants? See, they are accelerating the coagulation of the fine precipitates which settle down easily and subsequently removed by filtration. If fine suspended particles are there, due to addition of one coagulant like sodium aluminate, that may readily dissolve in the water and that is going to produce the aluminum hydroxide. That aluminum hydroxide is going to drag all the fine particles and that is going to produce the bigger flake. Once it is converted into bigger flake, that may settle down at the bottom of the container. Then similarly here, because of the aluminum sulfate also, aluminum sulfate is also one of the coagulant that may react with hardness causing cations and that is going to produce the aluminum hydroxide. So simply what we have to remember here, along with lime and soda, we can add some coagulants. So due to addition of coagulants, what happens? They may accelerate the rate of the reaction and they are going to drag all the fine particles. Once they are dragging all the fine particles, so that is going to convert into bigger flake. Once it is converted into bigger particle, due to gravitational force, they may settle down at the bottom of the container. Then with the help of filtration, you can remove them. Now, see, till now, what we discussed, very simple, lime and soda process. The title itself, it was given, lime stands for calcium hydroxide, soda stands for sodium carbonate. These two chemicals were added to the water sample. So because of, due to these chemicals, all the hardness causing cations or otherwise anions, the impurities are converted into precipitates. Once it is converted into precipitates, simply you filter it, the hardness causing ions are separated out as they converted into precipitates. Then, okay, the resultant water is the pure water. This much you remember, boss. Then again, what are the chemical reactions are there? Okay, that we will discuss clearly. अरे समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Remember
Yes,
the
sir.
life process.
Yes, sir.
Now,
I got it.
process,
Yes,
we are
sir.
going to add calculated amount of lime and soda to the water sample. You have to remember the word calculated amount. Always we are required to add calculated amount of lime and soda to the water sample. Then what happened? Yes, the lime, calcium hydroxide, soda, sodium carbonate may react with hardness causing ions and they are converted into precipitates. This much you remember. Once they converted into precipitates, filter it, remove the precipitates, the resultant water is the pure water. Over. Now, here there are two types processes are there. Cold lime soda process, hot lime soda process. What is the difference between cold lime soda process and hot lime soda process? In the cold lime soda process, simply the calculated amount of lime and soda are added at room temperature. But that's it. Cold lime soda process at room temperature, at RT. Whereas hot lime soda process, the calculated amount of lime and soda may be added to the water sample, may be added to the boiling water sample. That means the water is at 100 degrees centigrade or like that, they are boiling. So that boiling water, they are adding lime and soda. But over. Lime soda process are two types. Cold lime soda process, hot lime soda process. Cold lime soda process, in this process, water is treated with lime and soda at room temperature in presence of coagulants. Yes, in the cold lime soda process, we are required to add some coagulants like sodium aluminate and aluminum sulfate. Just now I shown coagulants, sodium aluminate, aluminum sulfate. Yes, here, okay, there are in the cold lime soda process again different types are there. Okay, here you are required to read only two methods: intermittent process and conventional type process. Bas, a catalytic spirit, spireactor, these are not required. You remember only two. Intermittent. See here, I am saying intermittent, conventional type. These are not required. If you, that is not a big task, you go through it, you can understand. But for our understanding, I am saying for time being only two: intermittent, conventional type. Intermittent or batch process. What happened? In the intermittent, here one container is there. Let us assume that its quantity is around 500 liters of one container is there. 500 liters, let us assume that. Then you take 500 liters of hard water sample. Then here one, okay, stirrer is there, mechanically operated stirrer is there. From the left hand side, you can add raw water. From the right hand side, you can add calculated amount of lime and soda. Then you add lime and soda at room temperature. That means simple, at normal ordinary temperature, you add the lime and soda. Then, okay, proper mixing is required. So with the help of this mechanical stirrer, proper mixing may take place. Then the added chemicals may react with this hardness causing ions which are present in the water, and they are converted into precipitates. The precipitates are nothing but sludge. The loose and slimy precipitates are called as sludge. Then the water may be, okay, the precipitates may be settled down at the bottom of the container. Then the softened water may be collected with the outlet. This is the batch process. Why it is batch process? Because see here, this is not continuation. You are this quantity is only 500 liters. So fill the 500 liters, then close this. Then you complete the purification of this 500 liters of water. After completion of this, you collect the purified water, then you remove the sludge, then you are required to take another lot of 500 liters. So this is a batch process. It is not continuation. It is an intermittent. That means you take 500 liters, you add lime and soda, mechanically operated stirrer is there. Because of that, proper mixing may take place. After some time or after few hours or after few days, 1 or 2 days also you may require to wait. Then after that all the hardness causing ions may react with lime and soda. They are converted into precipitates. Once they convert into precipitates, they may settle down at the bottom of the container. Then you remove the precipitates, collect the softened water. Then this once process is completed, then you take another lot of water. Hence it is called as batch process. Over. Nothing is there. Intermittent or batch process. One container, mechanically operated stirrer, hot water, calculated amount of lime and soda. As it is cold lime soda process, you are required to add coagulant. The next one is Okay, conventional type. In the conventional type, what happened? See here, what happened? See, please, okay, observe carefully. This is the conventional type or otherwise continuation process. See, here one container is there. In between the container, one mechanically operated stirrer is there. Then left hand side and right hand side, here in between, fiber filter is there. Here, this is the one filter is there. One filter bed is there. Then simply here, raw water is injected at the center of this container. Then right hand side, the lime and soda chemicals, calculated amount of lime and soda chemicals are added. Then as water is adding here, chemicals are adding here. Then in between, the proper mixing is taking place. So all the hardness causing cations may react with chemicals immediately in between only. Then the precipitates may settle down at the bottom of the container, and the resultant water may goes through this, okay, outer coaxial chamber. This is the inner coaxial chamber. This is the outer coaxial chamber. The soft water may goes through the outer coaxial chamber while they are passing through the fiber filter or wood charcoal filter. If any suspended particles are there, they may be retained with this fiber filter. The softened water may goes through the top. When it reach top, the softened water you can collect here. So here you are collecting the softened water continuously, and here you are adding the raw water continuously, and here you are adding the required amount of chemicals continuously. So hence it is called as conventional type. So this is the conventional type. This is also cold lime soda process, but here you are required to add coagulants as it is the cold lime soda process. See, in this process, the raw water and chemicals in calculated quantities are continuously fed from the top into an inner chamber of the vertical circular tank provided with a paddle stirrer. This is the cold lime soda process. The next one is, here spheracter catalyst, one catalyst we are using. This is not required. Okay, just you read it, you can understand. Okay. Then next one is hot lime soda process. In the hot lime soda process, what is happening? One cylindrical chamber is there, one container is there. Here simply what they are doing, they are sprinkling the superheated water inside the tank. Superheated water, steam. Simply they are injecting the steam inside the chamber. Then they are adding from the top end raw water. Then from the right hand side, they are injecting the chemicals, lime and soda. Then what happened? Because of the steam, high temperature is maintained around 100 degrees centigrade. In presence of this high temperature, the raw water and here the chemicals may thoroughly mix with each other because the density, because of the high steam, the density of the water may decrease. So that readily may react with chemicals, lime and soda. Then they are converted to precipitates. They may settle down. Then the softened water may go through the outer coaxial chamber. Then that may pump into sand filter. This is the sand filter. In the sand filter, still any suspended particles are there. They may retain here. Then the purified
स्क्रीन पर नींद आ जाए.
Huh? Hello?
अभी just soothing.
Yes, what happened? Some disturbance is there.
Sir, we have our next class, sir.
Oh, okay, I'm completing this. So this is the lime soda process. Simply here, how we are achieving the high temperature with the help of superheated water. Raw water is injected from the top end, left side. Superheated steam is injected from the right hand side. Chemicals are injected with high temperature. In presence of the raw water may react with chemicals. They're thoroughly mixed with each other, and the impurities are converted into precipitates. The precipitates are settled down this bottom of this container. Then the softened water may sent into sand filter. Here any suspended particles are there. They may retain with sand filter. The purified water is collected here. So this is the hot lime soda process. What is the difference between cold lime soda process and hot lime soda process? Advantages of cold. See here, elevated temperatures not only accelerate the actual chemical reactions, but also reduce the viscosity of the water and increase the rate of the aggregation of the particles. Thus, both the setting rates and filtration rates are increased in the hot lime soda process. In the cold lime soda process, water treated by the cold lime soda process generally produces softened water containing about 50 to 60 ppm only. Okay. Then water treated by hot lime soda process generally reduces softened water containing about 15 to 30. Hot lime soda process, the hardness is 15 to 30, whereas cold lime soda process, the hardness is 15 to 60. That means, okay, here in the hot lime soda process, coagulant is not required, whereas in the cold lime soda process, coagulant is required. See, because of the high temperature, the dissolved gases may escape out. But in the cold lime soda process, dissolved gases may retain in the water sample and they may create some problem like corrosion and caustic embrittlement. See here, less excess chemicals are required than cold lime soda process. Normally in the hot lime soda process, less chemicals are required because water is, okay, as we are sending the steam, so high temperature is maintained. In high temperature, reactions are accelerated. So immediately the lime and soda may react with all the hardness causing ions and they are converted into precipitates. This much you have to remember. Today's class conclusion is ion exchange method total completed, and lime soda process. What is lime? What is soda? What are the coagulants? What are the different types of lime soda process? Cold lime soda process, hot lime soda process. In the cold lime soda process, batch process or intermittent process, then hot lime soda process. Up to this, and what are the advantages of hot lime soda process? This much portion has been completed. Okay, next portion, okay, some other topics we will discuss. अरे समझ में आ गया कि नहीं आ गया?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Sir, you will provide
Yes, sir.
सेट करना पड़ेगा सर बढ़िया से.
हाँ,
yes, sir.
so you will provide this PDF.
PPT I am sharing with you immediately. Don't worry.
So yes, that previous class you didn't share.
Yeah, I'm going to share right now. Okay, bye everyone. I think you may be having another
Sir,
class.
attendance, sir.
Yeah, this is automatically recorded. I will take from here. Okay, I took
Thank
some
you, sir.
screenshots. Okay, that.
थैंक यू सर.
अरे, आप लोग
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
इसमें कितना सेक्शन है? I section, F section
I-
and K section. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.